Hey everyone, I have Bailey here, and Bailey and I have worked together. I just checked. I missed our 4-year anniversary. It was last week, so we'll make sure we get something out to you. um, Bailey and I met 4 years ago. She's done all the things here in the Emergosphere, and I thought it would be really encouraging for a lot of our really high performing clients to hear from Bailey and to hear about her accomplishments over the past 4 years. What made it hard to achieve that? What did she do? And we're gonna have a pretty, I guess, unfiltered conversation. I am streaming this to Christian Network Marketers community since you are there. So I guess we'll just do a language warning since you're in the group as well. And just we're here to encourage you and have some real talk. So if you guys have questions, like real talk questions, I'm pretty sure that we're game. Oh, we love Bailey. No one. What about we love Tasha? We love Bailey. Okay. Anyway, Bailey, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live. I want to ask you what you do for fun. What did you do in your previous career? Stuff like that.
Perfect. So, husband Matt and I have 5 kiddos, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 next week. We just don't talk about that. She's still 1. She's the baby. It's a whole nother issue. Tasha already knows about. And previously, right before network marketing, I was a photographer. So I would shoot weddings and babies and families and all the things. And then before my first child, I was an elementary reading teacher. So that was kind of my trained profession. So we are in Iowa about 6 to 7 months out of the year. And then we're in Florida for the winter to escape the cold. So that's where we're at right now. And so that's kind of like who we are in a nutshell, I guess.
Cool. I love it. So you've accomplished a lot in the past several years, and publicly, we're all so proud of you. Like, it's really fun to watch. What accomplishments are you the most proud of?
I mean, there's just really such a list of things that we're just so thankful of, we're proud of. Number one, Matt was able to leave his job as an engineer, which really made a massive difference because we do homeschool our kids. And so it was just such a blessing for him to be able to leave and help with the kids. It was rough. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. Don't get me wrong. But as we learned, we grew, we communicated. It's so great to have him home, really in our kids' lives, helping manage them as I need to work or have time together, things like that. So that was a big one. Closed my photography studio, which was taking away a lot of time from being with the kids. So that was great. We reached a top rank in our company. We've won incentives trips basically every year. Last year, we're number 4 enroller in the company. So that was really fun, and won some competitions with that. I also really just truly love still being in the trenches and helping the average Betty Sue next door neighbor who's like, I've had this health issue for years. It's really controlling my life. And I'm like, hey, I got you. Like, let's fix this, And so I'm just really proud of the people that I've been able to come into that kind of vulnerable place in their life where they're able to say, this is what's wrong. And I've been able to give hope to a lot of people, which I love.
Yeah, that I really admire how your business has been. How long?
I knew you were going to ask that. I think we're coming up on 6 years. Yeah, because he's about to turn 6 and I had him when I started. So almost 6 years.
Yeah. So 6 years later, still loving that customer experience. Yeah. And I mean, just continuing to find joy in that is so cool. And I think I'm just going to add, that's a little nugget for you guys that are wondering, how do you hit the highest rank of your company?
Yeah.
Retain your love for the initial customer. As soon as you lose that, I mean, I think it becomes almost impossible to grow, right?
Well, it really gives you, for me, I love it because it's just normal people who I can give hope to. That's really fun for me, but it also gives me a ton of control because I can put customers where I need on my teams. I can recruit new business partners. It's just constant open conversations with people that I don't know how I would be doing if I wasn't still recruiting, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's good role modeling, right? Which is a huge part.
Yeah, it allows me to totally be able to say to my team, like, I hate that we're not in people's homes right now. I'm still throwing a tantrum, but here's what I'm going to do to try, you know, and they resonate with that, and that's helpful.
Yeah, I agree. So what made it hard before each accomplishment? And you can pick any of them, right? And I'll just say, like, going from where you were, I mean, I said it over text, I hope this is okay, like not knowing what you didn't know, right, was probably like, what are the things that have been hard for you as you've gone from photographer to network marketing mogul?
I think it was just that, I mean, it was a blessing and a curse. I didn't really have an active upline or somebody that was like, here's how to do this. Like, it probably was a blessing because I probably wouldn't have listened to somebody tell me, like, this is the exact way to do it. But it was hard for me because I just wanted somebody to give me the checklist, right? And like, this is the framework. Now, like, go put your spin on it and get this done. And so that was initially what was really hard for me, is just feeling like I had 87 plates spinning that I was trying to figure out, and yet I didn't know that, like, what those plates even were, you know? So that was hard. Also very challenging for me was the connection with my frontline as we would go for new ranks. It was a very awkward dance for me to have big goals and want to push and maybe not have the same expectation from my frontline as I had for myself in the team. And so there was a lot of hard conversations and a lot of really, really intense personal growth and just learning the skills of getting buy-in and having those conversations and learning to meet people where they were at, but yet inspire them to be ready to push.
Yeah. So how did you overcome the challenge? Like, what did you do to overcome the whole not having a lot of direction? I mean, because you went to a 6-figure rank without, like, before we met, right? So, like, how did you overcome that? I know that's a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
people
think it was,
are there for a minute, and then you have this motivated person in there, like.
I think a lot of it was just pure like passion. Like, I was excited. I was willing to figure things out. I've always had, like, not fun first, but always bringing fun to what we're doing, right? So if we're going to have a team meeting, like, let's come to my house and have chocolate and wine and like stay up till 2 a.m. and like hash this out. Like that's fun for me, you know?
Right.
And so that was, I think, the key of just like being willing to continue to find answers instead of just being like, I throw my hands up, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And I would also add, like, your love for the customer probably fueled every tier and every all that. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I think even my own personal story, right? Like, I had a huge health change. So that drove me to continue to want to help people. And I have competition really high in my strengths. So it was helpful for the company to put out the trip competitions and things like that, because ultimately that pushed me in the right direction of getting more customers, which ultimately pushed my business forward really fast. So, you know, it was like a perfect storm probably of just do the things to win it, even though you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Except that you did know what you were doing.
I figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about your own personal growth and leadership. So the way you explained it was, I wanted to win. I wanted basically to impose my will upon everyone. I had to learn how to work with people and meeting them where they're at. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you overcame that challenge or worked through that?
Well, coaching helps me.
You can't say that, and you can't say that or that. Nope, don't say that.
It was just learning to have open conversations and asking the questions, right? So instead of like, I want to push for this rank, it's, would it be helpful if we increased your income? What are you willing to do to get to the next income rank? Or how can I help you get to that? What type of timeline do you have for that? Are you open to suggestions that we could move quicker together? You know, it was a lot of just, I wanted to win, but I wanted my people to win alongside of me. So it was very much a pure intention behind like, let's go, go, go. It just didn't come off that way to other people. And so I had to learn to kind of craft those conversations in ways that allowed me to hear people, because I was learning to ask the right questions.
Yeah, that's really, really good. What would you say to someone who is like, I don't know how to be a great network marketing leader, so I'm scared to recruit in the first place? I think that's pretty common.
I mean, I feel like you have, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but like you have to seek out help. You can't just figure that stuff out, right? And so there's different opportunities within Emerge. I was more on the track of like, give me the most intense option that will get me there quickest. And so that was obviously a huge piece, you know, for my success. I think you have to learn a way to improve yourself for those skills. You can't just expect that like doing it enough is going to get it right with it. Like you actually have to learn the basics of some leadership, you know?
Yeah, well, and do stuff, because I think a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how to be a leader, so I'm just going to opt out.
Yeah.
Or they like, right now, one of the things that frankly, and I know you get angry about this too, and I'll say angry, is like the negative self-talk of, I don't know how to do this, therefore I'm a loser kind of.
Yeah.
And I mean, we work through that, and I want our clients to share that, right? Like, I'm not saying don't share that, but I'm like, gosh, that's not it at all. Did you ever feel that way? I know a lot of your emotions, and I think I'm going to take you down a route that I'm not sure you want to go on, but you're on live to do it. Your rawness behind the scenes. I mean, obviously, you guys can see Bailey's very polished on camera, is one of my favorite parts about you. Right? Can you share some of those? I think that everyone sees someone like you with like your perfectly curled hair and your amazing necklace and your planned out background and all of that, right? And your years of speaking coaching. And they're like, yeah, I mean, Bailey clearly has it all together. She loves competition. She has a great story. She has all of these things. Obviously, she's top rank of the company. Can you talk about the stuff no one talks about?
Yeah, I mean, perfect example last week, right? Like our company announces a big sale. I was super tired, worn out, and I literally went into meltdown, right? And so I'm literally reaching out like, I don't even know how to invite my neighbor to like learn more about these products. Like
I heard you crying in the text.
But it made such a good point to my team of like, I was actually willing to share that with them, right? So I think that there are definitely the sides that people don't see where you don't know what to say to the person who's like super frustrated, or you don't know what to say to get your team to show up for an event that you've worked so hard on and you know will help them. Or, I mean, there are so many meltdowns and ups and downs that most people don't see, but the willingness to do it anyway and learn and overcome and do it again, I think is what takes people to the top. So, you know, I'm going to go live in my group and I'm going to talk about this event, and then nobody registers and I'm super pissed. And then I'm like, okay, but what can I do? I'm going to do this again. And then what can I change to get people to show up? Oh, I'm going to like ask for like, or figure out like the pain point in the marketing, right? Like, because that's what I'm coached on. So now I'm going to go back, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to use the thing I learned with a spin and do it, you know? I definitely am very quick to get out of my head. I don't let myself stay in that super long, which I think is huge because it's easy to spin out there and then not do anything. I'm very quick to get into action no matter what.
Which makes the spin outs not that big of a deal.
Right? Well, they're just short lived, so it can't control much, you know?
Yeah. Which also makes it okay if they happen frequently, right? Like I publicly shared, I won't publicly share how often you have a meltdown. That's your story, and I don't want to get sued. Like I publicly shared, I probably have one a week at least. But they're short lived. I don't allow them to have the CEO position of my company.
Right. Yeah. And having the person, whether it's hired or an upline coach, whatever, that's like, what can I do to help you? Right. So like we coach one-on-one weekly, and every week I come with a list of like, these are my hot messes, straighten this crap out for me, you know? And so like, you got to have somebody who can like tell you what you're doing well, remind you that you are great, help you sort things, tell you your ideas are great, tell you that idea is not worth your time right now, right? Like you have to have somebody, especially as you get into the higher ranks, to sort things with, because it can be so lonely, it can be so confusing, and it's hard to help manage people. Most of us in this profession, I would say, are not trained in people. Like I was trained in like 6-year-olds. Like that's significantly different than.
I'm kidding for anyone on Bailey's team that's watching. That's a joke.
It's just if you don't have that skill, then like you got to have the willingness to learn. I think that's probably my key, right? Willingness to learn, action. Like those are the keys.
Nobody has those skills, right? Like that is not a thing. Like that skill, like how do you lead independent contractors that are contracted by your company and not by you, but also your income is sort of dependent on whether or not they work. And also I read this book, it's called Sales Management Simplified. And it said the hardest role ever is a dual role where you're selling and you're managing at the same time. If you are a smart company, never do that. And I'm not against network marketing. Network marketing has a different angle of you get to promote yourself, right?
Yeah.
So it's different than what he was talking about, like a traditional corporate sales role. But like it's hard. No one has that skill to like manage that relationship, and it's learned, or people will draw analogies to things that are like what they used to do. Like, oh, this is like when I was the captain of my basketball team, or this was sort of like this other, like when I was in charge of the PTA, it was sort of like this other thing. But I don't think anyone is born with, here's exactly what to do in this business where you're all the things.
Yeah, totally.
Like that's just not realistic. And so, for the people who are like, what's wrong with me? I mean, I'm just going to say, like, I don't think you guys know how much Bailey cries. Please don't fire me.
Yeah, there is a ton of heartbreak for sure, because I see opportunity for people to do well. They don't want to put the work in. I see opportunity for people to grow. They're not willing to do personal development. I see opportunity for somebody to change their circumstances. They tell me I'm the worst person ever, right? Like there's so much heartache working with people, but there's also like incredible reward, right? The person who gets to walk away from their job that they didn't love to be home full time with their kids while running network marketing. Like there's so many great things, but it is definitely, I think, portrayed as like all sunshine and roses, and it's not. There is a grind. There is really just a lot of opportunity to be humble as you go through, right?
A lot of opportunity to be humble. That's good because the money's good. Because if there wasn't enough opportunity to be humble, then there'd be a lot of mean people probably.
Yeah. And I mean, I think sometimes you have to just walk away from a situation and come back tomorrow with a clear head. And, I love when people get to the point where they can't walk away, right? This business is giving them enough money to take care of their family, because then you get to the point where it's like you have to figure it out. And ultimately, when you figure it out, you help more people, whether it's business or product, you know?
I love that. I'm going to ask Bailey 2 more questions. If you guys have questions you want to ask her, I'm going to keep her on the live. Your next call's not till like 5 my time, right? I'm just kidding. You have like 10 minutes, yeah.
That's fine. The whole family just came back, but I texted them and they're staying outside eating, so hopefully they'll leave me alone.
It wouldn't be a conversation between us if somebody didn't jump on the screen without a shirt. How did, I know you talked about it a little bit, but you were part of the very first small group mastermind that I ever did. Sweating the entire time. Kind of like, how did I get into this mess where you all amazing people are taking notes on the words I was saying?
Oh my gosh, we hung on to like every word.
And that was crazy. So I think one of you was already at the highest rank in the company. The other 3 hit it in the months after. How did that particular, like we have 2 more spots for mastermind that's like that I run.
Yeah.
How did that mastermind help you to move forward?
It was a big deal. So it allowed me to get, because I wasn't active in the upline, it allowed me to have somebody say you're doing great things, which I needed to hear. Like I was at that weary point. It allowed us to ask very like specific questions, right? Like I'm struggling with XYZ, and then get like, here's option A wording, here's option B wording, which is what I loved, because it gave me the outline to have the confidence to have those conversations or do the Facebook Live or whatever. It definitely pushed me, because everybody was like, you know, hair on fire going. So it was like, okay, like, I'm going too. And I think one of the biggest blessings was that people were just a step ahead of me. I was definitely the baby of the group. And so it allowed me to start having the information in my head to be prepared for things that were coming. Or people were asking questions about like processes that I never even thought of, right? And so it just allowed me to have that upper edge, getting the personal help I needed, but that upper edge of learning from others who were right there with me, because I didn't have those relationships in our company, really with anybody in network marketing that was successful. And so it was a huge gift to my leadership, for sure.
Cool. And now we're exclusive.
4-month contract. 4-month contract.
We're on a month-to-month initial 1 month. That's gone 2 years. So what encouragement would you, I have a couple questions, but I'll ask you this one and we'll go to the questions. If you guys have questions for Bailey, you know, she's doing it, guys. She's at the highest rank of her company, and she's also currently enrolling and recruiting and launching because some mean person tells her that she can't stop. What encouragement would you like to share with others, either about the business, or if they're considering joining a mastermind with us? I guess 2 separate questions.
So mastermind, I think if you're feeling the nudge, you're willing to be uncomfortable and do the work and make time to do the work, then it's worth it, right? And so that is such a good fit for those who are like, give it to me, it's time. And so I just don't think you'll regret it. You just learn so much. But you have to show up, right? You have to be willing to ask the questions. You have to be willing to be embarrassed. Other people are going to hear your questions. Like put it all aside and just go all in, and you'll really get so many benefits from it. So that is a no-brainer if you're willing to kind of put some of that like worry and embarrassment and excuses for sure have to be set aside. Because if you're going to pay that type of money for a mastermind and small group, like be ready to roll. For sure, to get the most out of it.
I want to ask a question. So Aubrey said, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to know it wasn't me. I had to yell at one of my groups for not using their SOS option. So in the Resilient Leader, right? So in our like 6 to 8 week masterminds or the Emerge Surge, you can SOS and put whatever, like, I don't know how to do this thing. Someone help me. Here's my first draft in the Facebook group, and we'll help. Resilient Leaders have private access to me.
Nobody was using it.
You would be surprised at how few texts I get on the SOS option. So here's an honest question, because Aubrey said, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to know it wasn't me asking the SOS option. How often a week do you SOS for wording?
2 to 3 times a week. I mean, usually I have 3 like creation days, and usually there is a question every time I sit down to do creation work.
Yeah. So for you guys that are listening, here's my point. Aubrey says, I don't want to bug you. Your response?
Girl, you're paying for it. Get the help. User. I have zero guilt. Oh, sometimes I do. Usually I don't when I text for help, because like that's the point, right? Like don't sit and spin out. Like use the resources that you are given as that elite group to be able to ask. And usually it takes her like 4 seconds to come up with the answer that I was spinning out for 20 minutes. Like, come on now. That's a no-brainer. I have no issue asking for that help.
And I have no issue asking for you a testimonial. We're boosting this, sucker.
Oh, you were a little nervous asking me. Don't lie.
I was very nervous asking. I don't know why. You're a big deal now.
Oh, I am not a big deal, but you know it's a little chaotic around here most of the time. So
I hear you're a big deal now. So the reason I bring that up is I really want to highlight this idea. Like one of the things that I admire so much about you is that humility, right? Like there's actually a lack of humility if you're not willing to ask for help. So you have someone right now, guys, honestly, and I'm not trying to like make a big deal out of this, but who's featured every time on stage for her company's everything all the time. And she asks, what do I say in this situation 3 times a week? And the reason I bring this up is because I think a lot of people think because they don't know what to say, there's something wrong with them. And I think there's something actually wrong with people who do already know what to say. Like how would you know what to say if you've never been in that scenario before? And so I really want to highlight that we need to like stop. Like we need to just ask for the help. What encouragement would you like to give to people?
Who just general business encouragement?
Yeah.
I think my number one thing is just it is so worth it to put in the work. You will come out a better wife, a better business leader, a better mom. You will have eventually you'll have that success that you started this for, right? There was a reason that you started this because you wanted to choose organic fruit at the supermarket instead of having to compare prices, right? Like when you wanted you want to say yes to your kids' dance class without checking your budget. When? Like there are so many things that benefit you personally as you grow and get success, whether it's financial, relationships, communication skills, like so many things that there's always those times where you're like, I mean, I still say it like 90% of the time when I go to do a presentation, like I'm packing up my bag and I'm like, this is the last thing I want to go do right now. And Matt's like, I know, you say that every time, right? So it's not all sunshine and roses, but then I get there and I help the people and I come home and I'm super pumped. And so just stick with it. Use the resources to the uppermost level that you can fit into your budget, because it literally, what it does is excels your learning. So the higher that you go with the coaching, right, the more personalized you're able to afford, the quicker it speeds you up, as long as you have, of course, the action and the willingness to go with it. And so I just encourage people, continue to get the coaching and the help, continue to invest in yourself and your business. And as you keep going, when you don't give up, you'll end up with different levels of success you didn't even realize, right? And so continue to keep going is like what I want to say, because this year sucks, right? It's hard. People want to give up. Life looks messy. But I really think the people that stick with it this year are the people that come out with like the even bigger piece of the pie at the end. So
yeah,
now is not the time to like take the foot off the pedal.
Yeah, limp across the finish line.
Yeah.
Whole situation. That's because you'll have market share. I mean, most people they're not going to tough it out. I have some questions for you. So a bunch of like, we love Bailey, hearts, great story. Glad to know it wasn't just me. This is so good. Appreciate the honesty. Cynthia has a question. Did you decide to do one thing or multiple to climb the ranks? And I think that's probably speaking to your strategy.
Yeah.
To climb the ranks.
If I'm understanding it right, it was kind of like all the things that were calculated, right? So I needed to continue to recruit. I needed to help my builders also work on recruiting. I needed to encourage. I needed to set up a separate like incentive program to help people do ready to push at the same time. So I mean, there's a lot of different things at once, but if you're not, you know, pushing for the very top ranks, like it's not like all that has to happen to get through those mid ranks. You can kind of focus more on your enrolling, recruiting, and leading. Cool.
I love that. She says, next question, Cynthia asked too. Some leaders say go into groups. And if we didn't get that question right, Cynthia, just clarify and we'll loop back. Some leaders say go into groups. Others say go live. Others say to go on TikTok. How have you, over the years, gotten new people?
So up until, let's just be real, really up until now still, all of my recruiting is in person. So I'm in people's homes, I'm outside on my driveway, I'm at the park, I'm at the playground, etc. So for me, that's where I am personally enrolling in recruiting. And then my supports are all on Facebook. So private groups for customers and builders to be able to kind of market messages specific to them.
Yeah, your jam is booking events from events.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk just a couple sentences about that strategy and why that means you don't have to go on TikTok?
Yeah. So my strategy was to make a hostess program because our company doesn't offer one. And even if yours does, you can still do your own thing. That is fun and goes around choice, right? So if you have 4 people attend your party, you get to choose 2 gifts. If you have 6 people attend your party, you get to choose 4 gifts, right? And it's just like a bag of our products and stuff that people love that I can use our product credits to just fill my bag, let people choose. So it's fun. They get to choose what they want. They're rewarded for having more people attend. And so that's really, truly what has been my bread and butter since day one. And it wasn't even like super thoughtful and on purpose. It was just like, I want them to get more products in their home. And I don't want to have prepared DIY and all the things. If I can throw crap in a bag and get out the door in like 3 minutes, because that's like my timeline of like, oh crap, I got to leave. And so it's worked really well. And I make my presentations really fun and valuable. So I'm throwing jokes. I'm making sure everybody knows the exact products that are going to give them hope for their issues. And so people want to recreate that feeling and the fun, and they want to choose their gifts, you know?
Yeah, that's great. She's so badass. How did you get those people on your front line when you were ready to work for a rank advancement and they weren't really wanting it? You want to talk about that strategy? And I don't say they weren't really wanting it. That wasn't exactly it, right? So you want to talk about some of those strategies?
Oh gosh, you probably remember them better than me. It was a lot of humble conversations, which I had not demonstrated before that, of just like, how can I help you? What are your goals? Are you open to reaching them quicker? Would you rather push now or in 6 months? What can I do to help your team reach those goals? So individual conversations I found were much better than group conversations because nobody wanted in a group to be the one that didn't fit in. So once we went to individual, things got a lot more open.
Yeah. I remember all of it really well because I was like, please work, please work, please work, please work. Because Bailey's like, Tasha, what do I do? And I'm like, this should
Oh yeah, I had no clue for
right,
sure.
yeah. So I was like, well, let me tell you. And like, I'm like, in my back of my mind, this should work. Cross your
Right?
fingers, Josh. This should work. And I remember we started that mastermind. It's okay if I say this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we started that mastermind, I think, in November, and you had planned, I think, the following November to make the push. And so what we started working on that December was what's called the calibration call. We teach this in our leadership stuff, and knowing when to execute it is important. And so we went through this one-on-one conversation to get the real deal, because you need to, right? Because they're independent contractors. They have to be willing participants. So we went through this conversation that was just basically like, what are your goals for your business? And I think before it was always just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. So it was really a huge departure. Like, I'm going to do something different. They knew you were a training, right? So like, that wasn't a huge deal. And it was, what are your goals? Why is this important to you? Why do you care about it? What do you like? What do you not like? Like that sort of thing. And it was just all questions. And I think most people are like, what did you tell your team? Right? See, this was the question. How'd you get those people to do the stuff you didn't want to do? But we didn't. We asked questions to find out what they wanted to do if we weren't in the way. Mm-hmm. And what was really crazy about it is when you ask them, when's your goal to reach this income level? Right? That was the rank you needed them to be. Mm-hmm. They all said February. And I remember you coming back and you were like, what on earth? February? And I was like, buckle in, you're going. Because I don't think the leader always decides. In some instances, like it all depends on the team. Yeah. And what was so cool about that is you were thinking, gosh, it's going to take a while to build up for this. And the people on your team had those income goals that were actually more aggressive than you had initially thought. That's why it's so helpful to stay on top of that team. And then there was the video. Do you want to talk about the video?
Go ahead. You honestly remembered this part more than me, because I do think I was having babies. It was 60-hour work weeks. It was like learn, do, execute, don't remember, just move on. Like it was wild time for me.
Yeah.
I remember you helped me craft it, and I remember I was like terrified to do it, and it was super emotional for me, which my team had never seen. That's about the extent that I remember.
I would love to go back and watch that. We got to have a happy hour. No, you wouldn't be able to do it. I don't think I'd be able to watch my 2017 self, 2018 self. So what you did is you did this video in your group,
in the
business group, that basically said, my leadership superpower is role modeling. And if I'm going to ask you to push for your next rank, I'm going to have to push for my next rank too. And so because we flipped it, not because I'm going for my rank, you're going for your rank. It was because you're going for your rank, I'm going to push for my rank too, because we had done it the opposite direction, right? Everyone does it the other way. I want to go for my rank. So therefore you and you and you and you and you better be on board. And we did it opposite. We let them dictate when the push was, which most people don't have the patience to do. Worked out really well. And so then you were able to go to your team and say, are all the people, there's like this person who wants this goal. I mean, I don't think you're that specific, but it's basically like all these people in February have this goal.
Yeah.
And what kind of leader would I be if I'm going to ask you to push yourself out of your comfort zone? And I'm not going to do the same. And so I am going to push alongside with you. And the line that got me, and I didn't write this one, was basically like, I'm useless to you if I'm not pushing to the next rank as a leader. And I think that's where you got, I think that's where your tears came.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it the next day and was like, oh, it's on. And
Yeah, they really connected with it. They really wanted to do it together as a team after that, and they really wanted to. I want to say like make me happy, but they really wanted. They wanted the success as a group, um, and they knew that I was in the muck with them, and I'm sure there was a piece of that live also of like, in the past I've been like, let's go, and like, I'm so sorry, like that's all I knew to do, like it was such a good moment for our team for sure.
Yeah. And I was gonna jokingly say all your crybaby speeches are the best ones.
I think there's been like 2 ever. Come on now.
Those are the only 2 I've seen.
Usually I'm like the fast talker, like here's your to-do list, let's roll. So yeah, it surprises people for sure when that site comes out.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so important? And then I know we need to wrap up because I know you have a.
You're gonna say hi, hon?
Time block.
Was it important?
Why is it important to let your team see that, like you explain the why behind like why this matters to you so much, but in terms of how you wanted to help them win, which you referenced earlier. But just in general, like the other one I think about was when you told your personal health story, and that's like why you can't stop talking about this stuff. Those are ironically the only 100% of the speeches I've watched you do. You've cried. So why do you think those moments are so important for the people you lead?
I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? People connect when they don't put me on a pedestal. And so when I say I was broken, I was sleeping 16 hours a day because I was so sick, or, I went home and cried because I knew I disappointed my leaders in the way that I had spoke to them, or when people see that they too can do this without being perfect, when they see that it is a real person behind the smiley videos they see, I think it's just that connection, especially now, right? People are starved for that connection and belonging. And so, and because it's so rare for me, I think that people on my team just eat it up because it is like, thank you for being so real for us when you could have hidden this.
Yeah. Are you going to cry on this one? Because
Did I need to? I actually can't make myself cry, so you got nothing tonight.
I can make you cry.
Stop it.
Here's what I do. I'm really proud of you.
Stop.
All right, guys, this has been fun. I really hope this was helpful for you, and I'm going to get in trouble for that last line. But it's true. I am really proud of you, and I hope that you guys got some wisdom today from someone who's doing the work. So if you guys want, we're going to start working on your social a little bit, social media. So follow Bailey on Instagram, and you can keep up with her shenanigans. She does really funny memes.
You like a good swear word meme? I got you back.
Yeah, if you don't like swear words, maybe.
I mean, it's occasional. It's fine.
It's occasional. But yeah, if you guys want to follow Bailey on Instagram, she has some stuff in the works that I think you guys will like. And I hope you guys all have a great day. We're going to end the show.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.